adoption and the needs of orphan children have gained global attention due to the interest of some celebrities. But away from the global personalities who make adoption a personal choice, there are organizations who help give orphan children a normal childhood. For over 60 years, the SOS Children's Village has given orphan children in 132 countries the opportunity to grow in a typical and enabling community setting. After nearly half a century of providing long-term family care and education to children in need, SOS Villages Philippines opens its 8th Children's Village in Mariveles, Bataan to help give orphan children the comforts of home and family life. And today we are joined by Helmut Kutin, President of the SOS Children's Villages International, and Bienvenido Delgado, the National Director of SOS Children's Village Philippines. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
So tell us, why don't you start by telling us about this program, this organization, SOS Village.
SOS Children's Village came into being in 1949 after the Second World War in Europe. Many children had been suffering, and our founder and father, Helmut Kutin, thought there must be something better than to just put them into institutional care and throw them away from the community. So his idea was clear and simple: give these children a mother, keep brothers and sisters together, give them a house where they can live like any other family, and a number of these houses together will form a village which is part of the community. Integration of the child in a family, integration of the family into a village, integration of the village into the community.
How did you come to be involved in this advocacy?
I was one of the first children in the very first SOS Children's Village in Imst in Tyrol in Austria, and
you were an orphan.
Definitely.
And
I still am.
You still are. And how did that shape, your beliefs of what orphans should have for themselves?
It definitely had a major impact to me to know that there is a way where children can grow up in a family environment and not in an institutional care. And therefore, many years later, when Helmut Kutin had the intention to build an SOS Children's Village in Vietnam, he looked for somebody who was ready to go there during the war, and this is where I returned to the family. And after being in Vietnam for 7 years, and also in the Philippines and neighboring countries, I never looked back anymore, and so gradually I took over from our founder and father.
Okay, now, so we have this in the Philippines as well, this SOS Villages.
Yes, we currently have 8 Children's Village, and the newest we will be opening on Monday, August 30, National Heroes Day. And this is a concept of improving our whole approach by having our Children's Village within the established village in Mariveles, so that the families live within the family setting of a subdivision.
Now, in the Philippines, the problem of poor children who are not being looked after properly is a very big problem. I understand that there's a study that was conducted by SOS in the Philippines about just how grave this situation is. Can you tell us a little bit about that study?
In 2008, we undertook a child rights situation analysis, and this we did in our 3 villages here in Manila, in Tacloban for the Visayan sector, and that of Davao for the Davao. And from this we were able to put together a picture of the situation. In that study, what was shown to us is at least 10.9 million children are in need of care. Of that, around 11,700 are in some care between government and cooperation of agencies.
Only 11,000 out of 10.9 million Filipinos are in the care of agencies or government institutions.
Yes, this is what was initially revealed. And so it is in this line that we mounted on for our 8th Children's Village in Bataan, servicing northwestern segment of Luzon.
Now, can you give us a little bit more details of the findings of the report? I mean, out of the 10.9, closer to 11 million children, how many of those are orphans? How many of those are people who are have parents who maybe don't have the means to look after them, maybe those who are left by OFW parents?
Well, what we did for this study is primarily look at the regions that would have the greatest need for the type of work and service that we're doing. And so identified was the ARMM as an area, and then north.
A lot of orphans in the ARMM area.
Orphaned, those that are afflicted by war.
His parents are maybe fought in the war.
Child labor on some segments. So this is the main coverage of the study. The figures itself are available at our website, www.sosphilippines.org, for organizations who would be interested.
Is there a children's village in the ARMM or closer to where the children who are orphans because of the conflict in that area, is there a place for them there?
This is now the subject of our study, and levels of cooperation are being explored for such a village. But for now, we are answering the need of Region 3, the western segment, and so that's where SOS Children's Village in Bataan is working on the Central Luzon area, the Zambales.
What are the basic needs of children really? And I mean, what are the most important things for children to have, especially if they don't have parents to look after them?
The most important thing for every child is to be accepted, to be loved, and to be cared for. And we should be very careful with all these statistics and huge numbers, and never make too many children orphaned before they are orphaned. A lot of these children have relatives, extended families, and are part of a community who is still suffering because the material needs cannot be satisfied for everyone. But SOS Children's Villages have recognized this 10 years ago, and in addition to having children who have lost their parents or whose parents failed and who needed permanent family-based care, we are now embarking on a second program which is called Family Strengthening Program, to help local families so that the mother or the father or the relatives who are still there can take care of their own children, and we try to provide the essentials, and that is schooling, education, a decent meal at least per day, because otherwise you can't go to school, and the third is a basic medical assistance wherever it is necessary, in cooperation with other agencies, and particularly with the government, in all the countries where we are working. We could never build enough SOS Children's Villages in Africa, because alone with the HIV situation, you would destroy full communities existing only of grandparents and small children, and everything in the middle is gone. So we keep them together as a community and try to help this family to make sure that the children get the basic needs. But what every child in this world needs is first not to be earmarked as an orphan. He or she has to remain always a child, and we have as a society the duty to take care of them and give them the feeling that they have found a place in our hearts and minds, are part of the extended family, which is so beautiful in the Filipinos, and that they are not only cared for, but they are genuinely loved, because this is what a child ultimately needs most. And for this I do appreciate, and I'm very happy that we have beautiful Filipino SOS mothers who have shown over the last 42 years that they can give these children what is most essential for them to grow up and to become decent members of the society.
Right, absolutely. Now, sir, can you tell us quickly about the children who are in the SOS villages? Are they, in the first place, how do they find themselves in these villages? Do they, how does it work? Do they go there? Does somebody recommend them? Can they just go up there?
Well, I'll make use of how we are now welcoming children in our newest village in SOS Bataan. We currently have 96. The first 13 children were brought to us
by
the Diocese of Balaan as they were phasing out their particular operation, and so we welcome them into our midst. The rest of the children are referral either from the regional, provincial, or city municipal Social Welfare, along with other agencies that cooperate with our undertaking.
And what is the age group of the children who are there?
Our admission ranges from 3 years old to 10 years old. But if, as the major contribution of SOS to child care, we have 80% admission into SOS Bataan who are siblings.
Now, this 3 to 10-year-old age range is only for SOS in Bataan, or is it for all the SOS villages in the country?
For all the SOS in the country.
And what happens to them when they're 11?
In terms of sibling admissions, in other words, these are 3, 4, then the entry age of 3 or 11 are waived. So it is the unification of the family.
You want to keep them all together.
All together in one house
with
our mother.
Fantastic. It's really important to have your siblings with you, especially if there's nobody else but just the brothers and sisters. But really, I guess I'm concerned about it because I've been to a couple of orphanages and I see that it's usually very young children. But what happens to them when they're a little bit older and they, where do they go? Is there like a facility where they can go?
Every child who has entered an SOS Children's Village has come home. So it's not a question of age anymore. The moment they are part of the SOS family, they remain like in any other family, and we go with them and we give them a possibility to develop their talents, to study and to go into normal life. And definitely for the younger generation, in addition to the SOS Children's Village, we have youth facilities to prepare these young people to go into life. But essential of the whole idea is every child who has entered this SOS Children's Village is part of this family and will remain so forever.
But where do they live after they are outside of the age range?
They have no age range.
They can stay.
It depends on their capabilities, it depends on their own input, and we help each and every young man and woman to face life, and gradually they have to leave and live on their own, but they come back on all major occasions to visit their SOS Children's Village family where they have grown up.
So not until they're ready to leave and be on their own. They're not left on their own once they hit a certain age.
That would be completely wrong.
Can you tell us very quickly, where do we get, how can Filipinos help in this advocacy of yours?
Well, SOS Children's Village can best be seen through our website, www.sosphilippines.org. Our national office is in Muntinlupa City. Our telephone numbers are 807-0764. And this is where you can get in touch with us at this stage.
And then from there, we can ask more questions about how we can help.
Yes.
Okay, well, I do hope that a lot of our viewers check out the website and do what we can to help these children. Children, very important. They are, it's been said, and it's not just a cliche, they are the future of this country. Thank you so much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
We do hope that we wish you luck with the newest SOS Village that you've just opened in Bataan.
Salamat po. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, coming up, Martha gives us another stock